Welcome to Off the Cut, a podcast where we talk about building, making,
and answering all of your questions.
I'm Eric from Spenceley Design Co.
And I'm Zach from Zach Builds. If you have a question that you would like us to answer on air, you can send it to offthecutpodcast@gmail.com.
You can find both of us on YouTube, Instagram, and unfortunately, because we have to keep up with the kids, you can find us on TikTok too.
All right, now let's get into the show.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Off the Cut, episode 48. We're up in Toronto. Today is known as Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. But here in Ohio, today is respectfully dedicated to the food of the day, hot buttered rum.
Oh, okay, yeah. It sounds nice. I've never had it before, but it sounds nice.
I mean, once again, I think whoever is running this website is an alcoholic because I don't think rum is considered food.
I mean, but the butter's there, so the butter counts. You know what that reminds me of? In Harry Potter, they have the butter beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't it just like butter, like alcoholic butterscotch or something?
Is it? It can't be alcoholic in the Harry Potter universe because they're just kids, right?
No, but can't you drink alcohol when you're like 15 or something in the UK?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. I think it might be 16, but I don't actually know for sure.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Is butter beer alcoholic in Hogwarts? Butter beer is an alcoholic beverage.
Okay.
In the Harry Potter universe that is seen in the three broomsticks, a popular inn in Hogsmeade's village. Okay,
I'm going to go out on a limb then and say that buttered rum is the same thing as butter beer.
Okay, so buttered rum is a mixed drink containing rum, starting off good, butter, hot water or cider, a sweetener, and various spices.
Okay.
Huh. So I've heard in the cocktail universe that like when you get like the fancy cocktails, like the ones that are like $15 to $20 a drink.
Yeah.
They'll do like butter or like fat washes. So what they'll basically do is they'll put like butter into a spirit. Mm-hmm. So the butter's warm. So it like gets the flavor, and then they'll chill the spirit.
Okay.
And then so the butter would like solidify, and then they can then take that out. So you get like the flavor of the butter without it being like greasy and oily.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's way too much work for a single drink.
Right.
I would rather just crack a can of beer and drink that, but you know,
right.
To each their own, I suppose.
Hey, there's no judging going on here. Hot buttered rum. Would you try it? I'd try it.
Yeah, if somebody put one in front of me, I would 100% at least try it.
Right. It's like I tell everybody, I'll try just about anything once.
Yeah, what's the limit on that? Is there anything? I mean, you've said many times you're not a big like soda guy or caffeine guy. Yeah. Is there anything that's like completely off the limits for you food wise?
I have to say, if somebody was like, "Do you want to try like my dog just died? Do you want to try like some dog meat?" I'd probably turn them down.
Okay, but say you were at like a very nice restaurant in a country where they actually serve dog. Like, that's a thing.
Okay.
And it's not just your friend's dog that just died. He's offering you a bit. But if it was like a nice restaurant where they actually like made dog regularly, would you eat it then?
I'm not going to say no. However, it probably wouldn't be what I would order.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. I mean, that's a very different question though. Like if somebody put a prepared plate of dog meat in front of me, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll try a little square. But yeah, I'd never order it.
You know what I just thought about? And I don't know why more restaurants don't do this. You ever go to a restaurant and they have that like one thing on the menu that you're like, oh, never tried that before. And I'm not willing to spend like $20 on the entree.
Yes.
But I really like to try that.
A little sample.
Yeah. Restaurants need to do either, like, if the entree is $20, maybe have like a sample size that's like 4, or if they have like 3 weird entrees, maybe they have the weird sampler.
Yeah.
So your entree or perhaps an appetizer is like everybody can get a bite of all these like different weird foods.
I like that. It's almost like getting like a flight of entrees, kind of, right?
Exactly. That was where I was going on. I was going with that.
That's a good idea. I like that. There's I don't know if it's that big in Columbus, but here in Toronto for quite a few years, tapas style food was like all the rave. And what tapas is just like small little portions of stuff, right? So I feel like that's kind of in that direction. Like the whole idea is you sit down, you order like 5 things off the menu, and they're just all very small portions.
I'm all for that because like when Miranda and I go out to dinner, we are both like indecisive people when it comes to food. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at the menu and you're like, oh man, that looks good. That looks good. And so we always order multiple things and then we just share them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so like the tapas thing would be fantastic.
I think next to staving off the incredible loneliness that is existence, that is the best part about being in a relationship is that you can you can order like you know your partner can get the thing that is like second on your list of things you would have ordered, and then you get the thing that's first and you split it. It's a beautiful thing.
We have this system where like we'll look at the menu and we'll kind of go down and then we'll be like, okay, here are the 3 main things I'm interested in, and then we see where they overlap. Mm-hmm. But then sometimes if it's like, well, this Southwestern burger and then this breakfast burger sound good, it's like, well, let's not get 2 burgers. That's silly.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta diversify your eating portfolio, if you will.
Basically, what Sophie and I do is we sit down with a laptop and a spreadsheet at the start of every restaurant meal, and then we rank everything, and then there's an algorithm that we plug it into, and it gives us out the other side, the optimal order for both of us.
That was actually, if I'm not mistaken, your newest podcast venture, right? It's all about choosing meals at restaurants, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I'm in. I'm all in for it. I am totally in for that. But I guess where it works the best is ordering a flight of beer, because there's sometimes
like a whole menu that way too, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
If you got another person, like you're like whatever. If it's five little samplers in a flight, like most places don't have more than 10 decent beers you want to try.
Right, yeah, you knock out all 10 beers, and then afterwards you get 1 pint of your favorite beer. And you're good to go.
Pro tip, everybody, find a partner in life who also likes drinking beer, because that plan doesn't work very well if your partner's then going to order like a wine or a cocktail or something. Right.
But I mean, hey, I'm down for cocktails. Wine is like, how do I... I'm trying to come up with a good analogy for wine. Wine is like Subway. I am never going to go out of my way to get a Subway sandwich.
Yep.
But if I show up at your house and I'm hungry and all you have is a Subway sandwich, I'll eat it.
I once had a friend who would go to Subway sandwich and he would order a veggie sub. And it was just bread and vegetables. I was like, dude, what are you doing? It's like turning on TV and just watching commercials.
Was his name Jeffrey Dahmer?
Psychopath. I know, right? That's what I said, yeah. I mean, he was a pretty weird dude, and not a vegetarian, by the way.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know if I trust this guy.
Yeah, you'd be right not to trust him.
Huh. Did you know that if you work at Subway, your like official title is a sandwich artist?
Hell yeah, it is.
Well, speaking of sandwich artists, we've got a new patron this week.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Nice.
A Rigid fan, Matthew Covington.
Oh yeah, Matthew, thank you for becoming a patron.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll get access to the after show and the Discord and some other cool stuff heading your way, Matthew. So I hope you enjoy it. And don't forget, you can listen to all 47 prior after shows as well.
Quick question for you. What's the cutoff for the explicit? Because I said hell. Does hell count as explicit, or is it?
Well, they say it on the radio. I think we're good.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
We're 10
Hell
minutes.
yeah.
We almost got... Hell yeah. We almost got through the entire episode last time with Drew without swearing.
Yes. I think I ruined it, though, didn't I?
I think so. We were like an hour and something in, which, by the way, we were having unbelievable technical issues during the episode, so we sincerely apologize.
Yeah, so I feel bad for Drew because he just had to keep leaving and rejoining, and eventually he just rejoined with his phone.
Right.
Oh, what a nightmare.
We had a little bit of an audio quality drop. We weren't able to do the after show, but that's why we basically had a main show that was almost 2 hours long. So
exactly.
There's that.
Exactly.
Let's get through some things here. We got some returning top tier patrons. We got our Cockers. We got Luke Schmidt, Derek Jennings at Pecan Tree Designs, Corey Duvall, Scott Eastman at Eastie's Woodshop, and the Power Cocker, formerly known as Wes. That's it. That's it. But you can get your name on that list if you'd like to go to patreon.com/offthecutpodcast and you get access to the after show. That's really what you're paying for, let's be honest.
Well, no, I think the Discord is what they're paying for. The Discord's where it's at.
I've heard good things.
You know all those memes I was sending you the other day?
Was that what it was from?
Well, I was making them for the Discord group and
I dig it.
Testing them there. I'm hoping I'm hoping that I stumble upon a meme that goes like semi-viral. That's why I was putting the off the cut watermark on all of them. I was like, it'll be a little bit of like marketing for the podcast.
I dig it. I like the one where you had the guys walking out of the car with the briefcase. They're on their way to the Off the Cut podcast. That was a good one.
Yes, yeah.
That was good.
That was fun.
Did you notice this t-shirt that I'm wearing, Zach?
I did. Is that a merch sample?
Yeah, it is. I got yours right here.
Oh, hell yeah. I guess you'll give that to me in March.
Yeah, I'll give it to you at Workbench Con. So if you want to pick up one of these slick t-shirts, got to go on Patreon, man. So I joined as my own patron.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Because
you can order them directly.
But I did see that you were emailing back and forth with a person for like 20 emails or whatever. To get a
it is a
sample.
nightmare to get your own merch samples. Like you can't just like hit a button. You have to fill out a Google form.
There should just be a little thing that's like deduct the cost of a t-shirt from whatever you're going to send me this month and then send me the t-shirt.
Right. But you have to do this back end convoluted stuff. But
Nothing simple.
So I don't know if we talked about this last week because Drew was on the show. Did we sell the fact that to get, I guess if you become a patron, you get to watch our after show where Zach got drunk?
Oh yeah, true. I don't think we sold that. So yeah, we recorded a bonus episode, a bonus after show around the Christmas season.
Yeah, we did.
And I might have had a little too much whiskey while recording it. And subsequently, I'm doing a dry January.
So I'm going to give you the opportunity to defend yourself. What happened, Zach?
I just drank too much.
But see, you said the other person where if you have a drink, just subconsciously you just sip on it.
100%. And it does not matter what's in the glass. I will just consistently sip on it. Like we started this podcast 10 minutes ago. I'm already done my bubbly that I've been sipping on here. So I had this this glass of straight whiskey and I just kept taking a little sip. It was yummy. It was great.
How many glasses do you think you consumed during this period of time? Keep in mind, it was about 45 minutes to an hour, maybe?
No, it was more than that. It was like 2 hours we were recording for.
Oh, were you drinking during the main show, too?
No, I wasn't. But that after show took 2 hours, or at least an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Because there were some, the final video, I think, is like an hour and 20 minutes, because there were some technical difficulties that I cut out in the middle. Okay. And we were there for a while. But I made a pretty good dent in a 26-ounce bottle of whiskey.
Hey, somebody's got to do it. But if you want to enjoy that unscripted, unedited, unfiltered video, it's only going to be on Patreon.
Incredibly unfiltered.
Which, speaking, I guess, segueing out of that, Are you going to be able to use that video for your intended purpose?
I don't think so. So. I've watched it a few times. I might still use it as a I might still post it at some point, but I was planning to use it for a sponsored video, and I was like, it's probably not a good look if I'm getting drunk on a sponsored video.
Yeah. Did you get it edited and whatnot? And then you're just like,
I sat down and I edited the version that I put up on Patreon, which is like, but it's like very basic. It's like a screen capture with our two heads superimposed over top of it. I was planning to do like a more fast-paced edit where it's just like, take that 2 hours of content, crunch it down to like 15 minutes and then post that. So I haven't done that, but it's like, I don't know. It didn't come together the way I would have wanted it to either. Mostly my fault.
Well, I mean, also my phone died or whatever, which didn't help.
There were some technical difficulties. And also because we were using Riverside, it's supposed to screen capture. It has a functionality where it captures your screen, because I was sharing my screen with you while I was like moving the stuff around, because I don't want to give too much of the video away because this is a big selling point for Patreon. But we were dragging around power tool companies and ranking them, and about an hour and 20 minutes into it, that video just stopped recording. So it still has our video, like our webcam video, but it doesn't have the screen recording video anymore. Anyways, anybody listening, Riverside is not a product worth paying for. It's a podcasting platform.
And so we decided we're trying out a new podcast platform tonight.
Yeah.
It's twice as expensive. Mm-hmm. So we started a free trial. Hopefully we don't have any issues tonight. So far it seems to be going smoothly.
So far, so good. Although I will say I didn't get any sort of countdown whatsoever. It was just, I think as soon as you hit record, it was just like straight into it.
That's true. Yeah, that's why I waited a couple seconds to get started on it. But
yeah.
Huh. So I saw that you put out a new video.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I did.
Well, actually, I should say I don't subscribe to your channel. Somebody just told me you put one out.
I did. I put out my What an Xbox video a couple days ago on Saturday, I guess. Yeah.
So tell me, what was the idea behind it, or like what was in your mind thinking like, and I'm not like trying to turn you down. I'm just like, I'm curious. Mm-hmm. You're like, okay, so I have an Xbox. You want to make it a virtual console.
Yes.
And then you were just like, how can I execute this CNC around it to like do these intricate carvings and stuff like that? So tell me about it.
Yeah. I mean, basically I wanted to build my own ideal of what like the perfect Xbox would look like, right? Everybody gets the same black plastic one from the factory. So it's like, oh, maybe I'll do like my own bespoke version of that. And it was probably the CNC project that's challenged me the most. It was the most precision engineering I've ever had to do. Because if you think about a modern day game console, there's no wasted space inside it. It's basically packed full, right? And everything still had to work. All the ports still had to line up. So yeah, that was the challenge of it, was just getting the damn thing together. But it really was a big step forward in my confidence in terms of 3D modeling and preparing, being able to execute on an idea with a CNC, because it sounds easy, I guess, at first, but it's 5 or 6 different pieces that have to fit together perfectly, and everything has to line up right. So yeah, it was challenging, but it was a lot of fun. I also modified it, like you were kind of alluding to. So I went in and I hacked the software on it so that it can run every old game. So not only is it Xbox, but it's also Nintendo 64. It's a Super Nintendo. It's a PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. So yeah, all these little software mods to it. So again, it was really trying to create my ultimate Xbox.
So what did you use to 3D model? Did you use the Inventable software thing?
Yeah. And so I wasn't actually 3D modeling. I was creating 2D cut maps and then kind of planning how it would fit together once I had cut the pieces out. So I had to kind of do all that mental math in my mind of like, okay, I'm going to cut this, then I'm going to rotate it up 90 degrees. It's going to slot into this piece, and then this other piece is going to run into it. So, yeah.
I wonder, like, they've got to have, like, hypothetically, if you would learn Fusion 360, I would have to imagine that they'd have the ability to break that off into separate pieces and then kind of like open it up like a book.
Yes.
And then carve that, right?
100%. And you're exactly right. Fusion 360 would be the program that you would use to do that. But I've messed around a little bit with Fusion, and it's tough to learn. It's not something that you can just kind of hop right into the same way you can with the Inventable software. Shout out to Jason Grissom. He was actually giving me some pointers and helping me out with Fusion 360 a little bit. Yeah, so it's definitely something I would like to learn, but it's challenging. It's not nearly as easy as some of the other platforms out there.
It's how am I trying to say? It's unbelievably powerful.
Yeah.
But it's challenging to get set up.
Yeah. Even doing something simple as like creating a square box. I just tried to like open up the program and do it. I was like, I don't even know where to start. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's so much more powerful because, like, have you ever tried to do curves in SketchUp?
Yeah, it's really hard.
Forget about it.
It's straight lines only, right?
Like, you can use curves, but now you want to make something slightly larger? Nope.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Yes.
Just restart.
Yeah. Yeah, all the 3D modeling stuff, I assume that, if you're practiced in it, there are ways to achieve all the different transformations that you want to do, but it's not easy.
No.
And it takes a lot of practice just to do the simplest stuff.
Like, so one of the examples I know how to do, like in Fusion 360, let's say you have just a simple box, right?
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, I want to chamfer or round over the edges, you just click on the edge and drag.
Right.
But in SketchUp, if you wanted to round over all the edges in SketchUp, it is a whole rigmarole to do it.
Isn't there like I once watched a tutorial on how to use SketchUp to make 3D models of woodworking projects, and the guy showed a very simple tool for doing
the follow
like
me tool.
Yeah, the follow. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then now if you want to make the box an inch bigger, you can't do it.
Interesting.
It won't work.
Okay, good to know.
So that's the challenge with SketchUp is like, you really have to know exactly how you want your piece to turn out before you add any curves or edge details or anything that's strictly outside of just a straight box.
Right. And that's tricky because you're trying to figure everything out in the 3D model. That's why you're doing the 3D model in the first place, right? Is so that you can plan what you're actually going to do. So it's like you don't necessarily have a good idea of what you want to make.
No, it's a digital brainstorming file.
Yeah, but when they start locking you in with things like that, it becomes considerably less valuable as a digital brainstorming tool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I genuinely, or for the most part, I don't know why I said genuinely. I think I meant generally. We'll brainstorm on pencil and paper to just be like, here's roughly what I want it to look like. Now, do it proportionally on the computer.
Yes. Yeah. I've done that in the past a lot of the time, exactly what you're saying, just drawing it out and then doing it on the computer. But I don't sell plans, so I'm always like, what's the point of me doing it on the computer? Like, I could probably just figure this out faster in real life than I can try to muddle my way through SketchUp.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the things I found when building the Xbox is that I spent so long trying to measure things and move them around on the page and get them exactly right. I was like, I should have just cut it out of MDF and then held it in real life and be like, oh no, I need to move this an inch this way. I need to do, move this a little bit that way. So that was a big wake up call.
Did you just prototype the snot out of this thing? Like, how many sheets of MDF did you go through?
Not that many actually. So there was I got really lucky. So there's a top and a bottom piece, which are just solid walnut. Those I actually got right on the first try. They were relatively simple, so I was confident that they would work on the first try. And then the front two panels were what took the time, and so I ended up doing like 3 prototypes in MDF, just kind of moving stuff around. Okay. But that was after spending 4 or 5 hours designing. I probably could have just spent 1 hour designing and then done like one more iteration of prototypes, which would have taken 10, 15 minutes and cut out like 4 or 5 hours of design time. So would have been faster to just prototype hands-on in real life.
Right. Did you end up taking the guts of like a regular Xbox, or was this like a custom CPU motherboard and stuff?
No, this was like an off-the-shelf Xbox.
Okay, so you basically took the plastic case off of an existing Xbox and transported it in.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I dig it. Is that so? How's that video doing? Let's talk content-wise.
Okay, so it started out really well. It was 1 of 10, as you know, as I'm learning it's now a thing that YouTubers talk about. But I was playing. I've been doing obviously A/B testing a thumbnail, and I think the thumbnail that I had originally was way better than the one that my A was way better than my B, because I've been just watching the click-through rate plummet as I've been testing that other one. So I'll get the initial results tomorrow, and we'll see if I need to just try something else.
Yeah. That's such a bummer, because I know you've been talking about this one for a little bit. You're pretty excited, pretty passionate about it, and it's such a bummer when you put a video out and it just doesn't do well.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, it's tough, and it's I feel like I'm in a little bit of a funk right now, a little bit of a low point. So it's it is what it is. It comes with the territory.
Right. You'll bounce back. You've got people enjoy like the tech woodworking hybrid. It's just the time, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
You're never going to constantly go up.
Yeah. What about you? How you doing? You got some I haven't seen anything new from you in a little bit.
Yeah, so I was the last thing I put out was like basically the small shop tips video, which is like the day before Christmas.
Okay.
I put that out. I'm supposed to put out my pricing video.
Okay.
My how to price stuff. But I had agreed to do this video before my channel had started to really take off. Mm-hmm. So I had taken a deal now that I would never sign up for value-wise. So I'm working with my agent, Mark, and he has got me lined up for a potential video sponsor for first week of February. So I think I'm going to punt that video to the first week of February. Just kind of, it's going to be a little bit of a gap, but
yeah,
I think it's a better decision. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll go fight the other contract and like get it canceled for you and stuff. I was like,
so okay. You're going to swap the sponsor on the video essentially?
Yeah, effectively.
Oh, I see. Okay. Very smart. Very smart.
Yeah. So nice. I got that going on. But it's funny. I had 2 things I wanted to talk about. Okay, this will be the first one that came to mind. It's funny that you asked, well, what are you working on? Because I get like my friends, and then like Miranda's brothers were in town this weekend. They're like, so what are you building? What are you working on? Dude, I'm not building anything.
Yeah, just one of those. So I feel like when you're a content creator, it's like sometimes you spend a lot of time in the shop working on projects, and then other times it's like I'm just working on the content right now.
Right, and it's like I got to thinking, I was like, man, that's kind of a bummer. I haven't built anything in like a couple months.
Yeah. I did the same thing. Like I'm like 3 or 4 projects ahead of what I've actually released online.
It's fantastic though, isn't it?
It's good. But it's like I want to do something with my hands. I'm tired of looking at the computer screen and like,
right.
Yeah. But it is what it is.
You know, it again. That's the territory that comes with the job, right?
Yes, very much so.
So last week I told you it was just an absolute nightmare.
Yes.
When it came to my day job, like, dude, I didn't touch a single thing in the business last week. Today, came in, I had 1 quick meeting, I had did a couple quick things for work.
Mm-hmm.
Then she was quiet. So it's like, it's so weird to go from like full throttle, 300% down to just like really, really slow day.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That's what happens when you're trying to do two jobs.
I'm always super envious of my friends who have kind of like, quote unquote, like office or white collar jobs.
Right.
Because you have days where you don't have to do much, right?
Right.
Whereas when I'm, like when I'm my day job where I'm building houses, it's like there's always something to do. Like I'm literally like busy the entire day. And when I end the day, there's just like an infinite amount more work that I could be doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's even when like if I'm slow on the day job, like I have so much stuff to do for the business that like I'm always busy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like always being busy either. Like I don't think it's a good place to be, and I'm trying to find like more balance in life, like as quote unquote New Year's resolution, right? Because here's my standard answer when somebody asks me how it's going. They're like, "Hey, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while." I'm like, "Oh, it's busy, man. It's really busy." And it's like I don't want to always be answering everybody saying it's busy, like.
But it's true, because I mean, like you and I are both working to the point that we can make this our full-time gig and not have to do something else. Like we're kind of in the sprint season. That's just what it is.
Oh, 100%. But it's also like, even if we were doing this full time, like even if we both quit our day job, I think we would still be going like great, like steak, right? Because it's one of those jobs where it's like, even if you're posting every day, you're like, well, I could be posting twice a day.
Right.
I'm putting out a video every 2 weeks. Oh, I could probably step that up to once every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so.
There's just always one more thing. One of the tactics that's helped me like feel like I've like, oh man, I got a lot done today, is I'll have a list of all the tasks that I want to get done. Infeasible for me to get all of those done day one. I'll basically be like, I want to accomplish this one, put it on this list.
Yeah.
And maybe this one put on this list. And then once I finish that small list, even if I finish that at like 4:00, I'm like, well, that was a good day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of helps me prevent the feeling of like, just go.
Yeah.
Like, give me the mental breaks.
I've done the list before, but I find even when I get to the end of the list, I'm like, okay, now what else could I add to this list?
Yeah. I get that. For me, it's like, for the most part, I try to go to the gym right around like somewhere between like 4 and 5. So if I can finish all the things I wanted to do, and then I go to the gym, once I come home, I've kind of like disconnected from the work mindset, and now I'm just ready to relax. So like, it could be something simple as like, I don't know, you watch a movie or watch like Netflix at a certain time to just kind of like turn your brain off from like the work thing. Yeah. No, I think that's important. I don't know. Because I realize, if you don't take time to do the things you enjoy, you just end up getting miserable. And then I think as a result, the content suffers, right? Yeah. Because you're not doing it because you want to do it. You're doing it because you feel obligated to do it. And nobody's ever, worked well from that position. Right. And that's kind of how I feel like I'm still setting up this table saw, because like I haven't had time to do it, and like I've been filming it, and like there's some things where I'm like, okay, I want to go and adjust this thing. I'm like, oh, I do not want to film this right now. I'll work on that tomorrow. Yeah. And dude, saw is totally set up. I spent like 4 or 5 hours today getting the blade aligned with the table. Oh, that's a nightmare.
Yes, it is. That takes a while to do.
Right. Because it's like, undo some bolts, tap, tap. Yeah. Okay, we're good. Tighten everything down. Oh, shifted.
Came out of, yeah. I don't even have a good advice on like what to do in order to correct that. Like what is the best way to set up a table saw? I don't even know. Other than just
if I know.
Tap, tap, tap. Oh, too far that way. Tap, tap, tap. Oh, too far the other way. Just rinse and repeat ad nauseum.
I'm so happy, and I never even thought about this. I got a prototype woodpecker's tool. I don't know if it's out. It's basically this like large steel plate.
Yeah, I saw your Instagram video about it.
Oh, did I put it out?
Yeah.
Okay,
You don't
I
even
didn't
know.
remember if I did. So yeah, it's like this like large steel plate that has an arbor hole, and you put it in just like your table saw
Yeah,
blade would
it's
be.
fantastic. Such a good
So
idea.
you don't have to like spin your blade and like mark
Yeah.
the tooth and like,
Yeah.
oh, now your little, whatever got stuck. It's just like this dead flat piece of steel. How
Yeah,
has
it's really
nobody thought of this before?
I don't. That should be like a standard accessory you get when you buy your table saw.
Right.
Yeah. So
But
you should
then-
pass that on to the people at Harvey.
Yeah, but I've got to imagine woodpeckers probably selling that for like $300 or something.
Yeah.
Something silly.
Yeah. Well, it's woodpeckers. They do what they do.
So here's the question. How close to perfect do you chase when trying to
Right.
set up your table saw? You could
Yeah.
drive yourself nuts.
You can drive yourself nuts. I was trying to do some glue ups the other day, and that stupid little like cube, the magnetic cube. You put it on the base of your table saw, you zero it, and then you attach it to your saw blade.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Yeah. So I had
Yeah.
one of those, and I was just like, I was there for like 5 minutes, going from like 89.9 to 90.1. And I just like kept adjusting the saw a little bit, resetting it, re-zeroing it, and I was like, okay, 89.9, close enough. Let's roll.
But have you looked up the tolerance of those things?
I'm sure it's not great. It was like $20 off Amazon or whatever, so it's not exactly like it's a precision instrument.
Right. So hold on. Let's see what the precision. It's not great. It's like plus or minus 0.1 degrees. So you could be at 90 at 40, 89.1 or 89.9 or 90.1. It could read exactly that.
Yeah. I sat there for like 5 minutes. I couldn't even get it to read exactly on 90, so I definitely I believe that.
When setting up like an angle on the blade, I always just use a square
Yeah.
rather than try to rely. I don't even bother to set like the angle gauge on my actual table saw. Useless.
It's not only is it useless, but it's like it couldn't be useful because like they always do this thing where there's like an inch gap. Like, you know how there's an arrow that indicates what degree you're at, and then there's a little like meter that says the angle, and there's always like an inch gap between them. It's like even
You could
if
put a book between them.
Exactly. It's like it's just a suggestion at most.
I guess it's not a good idea. Like if you look down and you're like, am I at 90? Oh no, I set it at 30 degrees last time. I mean, that's about all it's useful for.
Yeah. I wish there was on your Harvey saw, are there adjustable stops?
There are, but I always loosen them all the way because I don't trust them.
Right. Yeah, fair. Same thing on my miter saw. Like
Yeah, I don't trust.
I know it'll get me close, but they're not perfect 90s. It's it's 89.9 or whatever.
No. So I guess what I'm struggling with right now is getting the blade aligned to the miter slot. Mm-hmm. Now I looked up that woodpecker's thing, and over 12 inches, it has a flatness tolerance of 0.001 inches,
Okay.
which is pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm also pairing it with their like woodpecker's dial indicator thing that you like slide.
Yeah.
What do you think is a reasonable amount of precision to be like, good enough?
That's a good question. I did the same thing with a little slidey like feeler gauge.
Yeah.
But do you even get any adjustment in your arbor?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, so how would you even adjust your blade relative to the miter slot?
Oh, that's where you like tap the table.
Tap the table.
Yeah, so you unbolt the table.
I see what you're saying.
And then shift the table relative to the arbor.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think I would probably... I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
I think I was within like 0.002 or 0.003. I was like, I think that's good enough.
I think that's good enough. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, like, that's a couple orders of magnitude less than zero point 0.1 degree, right? So that's got to be teeny tiny.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And I feel like it's just like I'm driving myself nuts.
Yeah.
Around it. Like, you're never going to get it to read 0.
Yes. You know what you should do is you should just get a CNC and have the CNC cut all your miters for you.
You just press play and you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, you just press play. That's all it takes.
But working on that, that's really what's driving me nuts. But the other thing that came to mind, and I was curious to get your take on this, because it's related to my my agent Mark.
Mm-hmm.
So hear me out on this. How do you feel about taking sponsorships for things that could potentially be in a morally gray area?
Ooh. Okay, give me a hypothetical. Like, don't do the actual sponsor, but...
Right. Okay. So let's say, this isn't it, but let's say... And you understand what I mean by morally gray once I give you this example. I'm going to say alcohol. Okay. So you and I consume alcohol, but we don't have alcoholism. Like,
yes,
we are not
debatable after the Christmas special that we put out.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's not like we are consuming mass quantities of alcohol and it's detrimental to our life, ruining our life, friends, and family.
Yes.
However, there are people who can be extremely negatively impacted by that. So is it in a moral gray area for you to take an alcohol sponsorship?
Right. I always err on the side of no.
Okay.
But I would say... So here's an example. A crypto exchange approached me about sponsoring a video.
Sure.
And... it was like, I was like, I would be willing to do it, but you would really have to let me craft my verbiage around it, right? Because I would be, I would want to say something like, definitely do not invest your life savings in crypto.
Yeah.
But
do your own research.
Do your own research. But if you want to invest a small sum of money that you're completely willing to lose, like, maybe this is the place to do it.
Right.
And so I think crafted the right way, I would be willing to do an alcohol sponsorship.
Okay. Yeah. And I think I kind of felt the same way, because actually, when I first got approached, it's a sports betting platform. Yeah. So you get what I mean? Like,
yes.
I don't personally sports bet, not because I have a moral opposition to it. I don't find gambling, like going to a casino, entertaining.
Yeah.
And I know that some people can do it responsibly. However, some people can get into a lot of trouble with it.
For sure.
So, like, is it wrong for me to take that ad? And I had discussed it with a lot of my friends and Miranda, and they were all just like, they basically brought up the alcohol example of, like, you're not harming someone by doing this.
I think ultimately, at the end of the day, anybody who has a gambling addiction already knows that they can bet online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not... But I do hear what you're saying. Like, who knows? Maybe you run the ad and then somebody listens like, oh yeah, I should try that. And then boom, that kicks off their gambling addiction.
You don't know.
Wasn't that person probably always going to end up being a gambling addict, no matter if you made that ad or not?
Potentially.
Speaking as a person who comes from a family with some alcoholics in it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the beer ad that made them alcoholics. It was their crappy childhood that made them alcoholics in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. So it's like that person always had the potential for it. And I don't know. I think
it's like that classic, like, psychology thing of, like, the was it like nature versus nurture debate?
Yeah.
Like, was my ad what caused this person to start becoming a gambling addict? I think you would have a really hard time narrowing it down to exactly that.
I think so too. I think so. That would be my gut feeling. But,
and for that reason, I feel okay doing it. I don't feel like crappy, or low, or like, oh, shouldn't have done that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I think I would probably do a sports betting one. I think I would do alcohol. I'm trying to think, like, where's my limit? What would I? Is weed legal in Ohio? Jeez, I can't talk tonight.
I think like medical in some instances or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Up here in Canada, it's all just it's good to go. It's you can just go to the store and get some. So I was like, would I do like a online marijuana dispensary ad? And I don't think I would, but just only because it was, I don't know, it was some things have like a negative connotation to them. Not that I think there's anything wrong with doing drugs of any type, but I just think that would have a negative effect on like quote unquote brand.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. I think these are the things that I didn't really think of until like I got presented with the offer, and I was like,
Totally.
"Oh wow, okay. I guess I need to think about this.
Think about it. What about penis pills?
Ooh, see, man, that's tough because now we're getting into pharmaceuticals, so it's like,
and that's like,
oh man,
right? Like I've listened to quite a few podcasts where they'll do an ad for quote unquote Blue Chew, which I think is just Viagra.
Right. I think I just found the name of this episode.
the one where they get hard.
The one where they take the blue pill.
Oh yeah. I like that.
That's not bad. Sorry, I took you off. Online blue chews.
Yes, yeah. So I know quite a few podcasts that I listen to have done that. I don't think I would do that unless they drove just like a dump truck of money up to my front door.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how the sports app thing was. I guess online sports gambling, I don't know much about this, but my understanding is it just became legal in Ohio January 1st. And they want this video put out a couple days before the Super Bowl. And I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of like Super Bowl promotion. But like when Mark sent me the offer, I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Somebody's got some. Yeah. They got a budget for sure.
That's it's a high margin business, right? Or I guess it's a lucrative business, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think there's always things that you're going to be cautious about treading into. Yeah. It's the same way, like on my website, they're like, do you want to offer like that? Like, do you guys have like Afterpay, the Klarna thingy? They're like, do you want to add that on your website? And I was like, no.
Yeah, it's weird. Like somebody wants to do an installment plan for your digital plans.
Right. Like, I'm like, I'm not signing in somebody up to get into debt to buy something for my website.
But would you do an ad for a credit card company?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
Because I personally don't use credit cards. It's just something. It's just something I do. Like I don't do debt of any sort. Right. I have no problem. Like friends use credit card. I don't care. Yeah. I just don't. So
okay.
I think it would be inconsistent with my values to do that. Right. I have no problem though if somebody else runs a credit card ad. Like I don't care when you do the credit card ads. Like I don't care. I don't think you're. I use credit cards
all the time because I'm crazy about the points.
Yeah, fair. I'm a simple man. Yeah, just use my debit card. Move on with my life.
Yeah.
But that is what it is. So
yeah, it's interesting. I guess. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, like that kind of ethos is just exactly what you had to stick to, right? It's like,
Sure.
I don't know. Am I morally opposed to this thing? No, not really. Okay, like then I'm willing to do an ad for it, I guess, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, honestly, if somebody was like, "Do you want to do this credit card ad?" It wouldn't be like a "No way, I'm morally opposed to it." I'd be like, probably not.
But
maybe.
How big's the dump truck of money?
Right. I don't know. Did I tell you that? Sorry, this is completely changing topics.
All right. Tangents are awesome.
That's how we work here. Did I tell you that somebody offered or like wanted me to build a commission that was literally exactly what I've been telling you I've been wanting to build for like 6 months to a year?
No.
Somebody reached out and was like, "I want you to build me a bathroom vanity."
Right.
The rate was reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
The design, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue is it was like a 10 or 12 foot vanity.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I don't have the room to build this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Nor transport it.
Oh, yeah, true. Huh. I mean, something like that. I mean, depending on how you made it, I haven't seen the design. So you could always make it in pieces and assemble on site, right?
Right.
But,
and then do like a single face frame or something like that to put on top of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was just like, I was so bummed because like everything, I was like, yep.
Check.
I can't build it.
It would be. It would actually kind of make for an interesting video because you could talk about the challenge of.
I know. I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, I think this is going to be way more of a headache than it's really worth. And a bathroom vanity is one of those things like you're going to have to scribe it to the wall, and if I don't have all my stuff like moderately close, I don't even know where this person lived. I was like, I think they're just going to end up being way more hassle and struggle than it's potentially worth.
You got to make it a couple inches too small and do like little filler strips on either side. But
yeah. But at the end of the day, like, let's be honest, I hate building stuff for other people.
Yeah, that's true. That's, like I think you as much as me, like that's why we got into doing the content stuff is so we could get away from, like that was our revenue model, not selling the stuff we make at the end of the day, right? Ooh,
exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is that?
LaCroix.
Fancy boy.
Key lime.
Nice.
So, like I told you, I haven't had soda in who knows how long. So I cracked one of these up. I was like, this tastes familiar, but I couldn't tell you what it is. So Miranda tried it. She goes, that literally tastes like a Sprite. Oh, okay. That's why I kind of remember the flavor. It's great.
Is it Sprite, but no sugar? Like no sweetness?
I don't know. It's yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
No sweetener, no calories, no sodium.
Okay. Because that's a lot of the time what the bubbly water companies will do is they'll take the same flavor like from root beer, but then they just won't add the sugar to it. So it's kind of got a familiar taste to it, but no sweets.
It's great. I'm a huge fan. It was on sale for $2.50 an 8-pack.
LaCroix, I guess it's like part of their being different thing.
Right.
Like they're trying to stand out from the pack a little bit, but the 8-pack, that's not enough. That's not enough for me. Yeah.
That's going to last me, like a day?
Exactly.
I don't have time for that.
I went to the Costco yesterday and I bought 48 bubblies. I was like, that'll last me till the end of the week, and then I'll need to go restock.
Oh, man. Somebody was telling me about some new Costco find that they had the other day.
Oh, yeah?
I don't remember what it was. I got to get myself a Costco membership.
It's worth it. It's worth it. I only go like, maybe once every couple months. I still keep my membership.
Fun fact. Costco, you can return anything up to 364 days.
Really?
Even your membership.
Oh,
so you can get a membership and on day 364, get your full money back.
Interesting. I've always wondered, like, what's the deal with the membership? Like, it's $50. It's not like it's a ton of money. Why do they keep it? Like, I guess it's to keep you coming back, right? It's to make you feel invested in being a Costco member.
I think so.
But I don't know. Like, I remember back in the day when I was a little kid, people would be like, oh, you get a Costco membership. I'd be like, oh, it's $50. That's a lot of money. But now as an adult, it's like, you're making a funny face.
No. I'm listening. I'm Googling it.
Okay.
Please proceed.
Now as an adult, it's like such a small portion. Like every time I go there, it's $400 or whatever in groceries because you're buying the giant size of everything.
Right.
So I don't know. It doesn't really seem like that much of a commitment device to me.
Yeah. So what Costco says is we strive to give our members the best products at the lowest possible prices. And our membership fee allows us to offset many of our operating costs and price our merchandise lower. Baloney.
Yeah, I don't buy that for a second.
So Investopedia.com, I guess this is I'm not reading this whole article, basically says Costco has a business model that depends heavily on repeat shoppers buying and renewing memberships. By selling memberships, Costco can sell products at deep discounts that barely cover costs. Still, membership revenue continues to grow and it contributes to a significant portion of Costco's bottom line. And that was all they have. But they do have a couple things in here that say, like, you're right, like brand loyalty. If somebody has the thing and they feel committed to it. Huh.
Yeah. It's like me with my Amazon Prime membership. Once you get Amazon Prime, you just order everything off Amazon.
I don't even know who pays for Amazon Prime, but I've got it.
It just
That's someone in my family does.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's like a Netflix account, right? You share it with You
have 17 different profiles on your Netflix account.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, I got some good recommendations for TV shows, but maybe we'll do that in the after show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm down. Yeah. We're still working through Breaking Bad.
That's like a good 8 or 9 seasons, isn't it?
I think so. I think we have 3 or 4 episodes left.
Nice.
It's getting wild. Getting wild.
Right. Is 3 or 4 episodes left in the entire series?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'm curious to hear what you think of the ending of that show.
Okay. Well, I hope it's not like Dexter. You ever watched the show Dexter?
Just the worst. I actually stopped watching the last season because it was just so bad.
Oh, good. Yeah. Great.
But although I will say Dexter came back. There was Dexter New Blood, which was actually pretty good.
My sister has it on DVD, and she brought it over to my house one time. She goes, "Do you want to watch this?" And I laughed at her. I said, "I don't have a DVD player."
Yeah, true. What streaming service is it on?
Right. But she's this person, she's a conspiracy theorist through and through. She refuses to use Netflix because of, I guess one time they had some show about toddlers modeling or something like that. And she's like, I refuse to watch Netflix. I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, I hear it.
What?
Yeah.
One less person I have to worry about hitting our 4 stream maximum on Netflix. So,
we forgot to ask Drew what his conspiracy theory is.
I know. We got to get Drew back on it because we were having good conversation, and then we would have a technical issue, and then it would kind of derail. It was derailing a lot of the flow that we were having and building up with somebody who you haven't talked to before.
Yeah.
Which is probably pretty evident if you listen back to the episode.
The guys in the live chat. So Brandon in the live chat is suggesting that people watch Better Call Saul, which is a continuation of Breaking Bad, or it's the character from it, Saul. Fun fact: my sister-in-law is actually a recurring character on that show.
On Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
Man, you're surrounded with movie stars.
Yeah.
You got Sophie. You got your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Look at you.
It's the actors, they flock together.
I don't blame you. I had a what am I trying to say? Last night we were watching Breaking Bad, and there was a baby that came on the screen, and then we got to thinking, how do you get that role as a baby?
Yeah. I mean, there's just some parents who are like, hey, yeah, you can use my baby for a couple hours if you give me $1,000.
Right. Like, can you imagine, though? Like, what's that, Breaking Bad from, like, 2005 or something like that? That's pretty
something
old.
Like that.
Imagine now you're, like, out at the bar, right?
Yeah.
Pickup line. You're like, hey, you ever seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. I'm the baby. And they're like, what?
Oh, damn.
Right. I was like, that'd be a great pickup line.
There was this family in my elementary school, and all the kids in the family were actors. So it was like clearly this, like the parents were like, taking them out for auditions and stuff like that. But they were like, every once in a while there'd be like a commercial for toilet paper, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's a kid from my school.
You're like,
so
you wipe your butt? I got paid to talk about it.
That's right. That's right.
I'm a Hollywood butt wiper.
My friend was a skateboarder in like grade 7 and 8, and he was in a Nissan commercial because they needed like a skateboarder to be like in the background or something like that. And I'm pretty sure to this day he's still cashing checks from that because
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, he gets a royalty every time it's shown. So like every once in a while he just gets a check for, $500 or something like that.
Mailbox money, baby.
And it's something he did when he was 13. So, yeah, pretty funny.
Did Sophie ever get her issue with the Amazon rerunning Saddle Club?
No, she's still working on it. And it's funny because so she's trying to find a lawyer, essentially, who will take her case on that, because she's consulted with a few lawyers who are like, oh yeah, they definitely owe you money. And she was talking to the production company that was rerunning it, and they just ghosted her at a certain point after she asked too many questions. So
that's too bad.
Yeah.
Was that her pickup line? That she was like, hey, seen Saddle Club?
No, when I first met her, she wouldn't tell me what her last name was because she was worried I would look her up on IMDb.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked up somebody that you went on a date on the internet?
No.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Neither.
Yeah.
I was really hoping you were going to say yes and we had like a good story, but
no, sorry. I mean, once Sophie told me her last name, then yeah, I looked her up, but that was the extent of it. And I didn't really even go that deep. I was like, oh yeah, she's been on some TV shows. Cool.
Right. So how long into dating?
Oh, I don't know. Not that long. Probably like a week or something like that.
Okay.
2 weeks, something like that. Yeah.
But she just didn't want to introduce, be like, hey, I'm Sophie. I'm a movie star. Movie star.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that'd be a little pompous, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you say we slide over to the after show here?
Sounds good.
All right. So the only thing we're going to ask people this week, things are moving. All we ask, share the show with somebody. If you enjoy it, you want to join Patreon, great. But honestly, just share the show with people. That's the only way we can grow the damn thing.
Yeah. Look, we understand. Patreon, it costs money. Not everybody's willing to spend money on a podcast. I know I'm not a patron for any podcast, so I get it. I relate to your position. But telling a friend is free.
Yeah.
And it would seriously help us out. Eric and I would deeply appreciate it. But I also have one other request.
Oh.
Send us some voice notes.
We got a voice note for the after show.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm looking forward to it. I haven't listened to it yet.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Okay. Is it from a new person or returning voice guest?
It's returning.
Okay, that's fine. I'll accept that.
No worries. All right, everybody. As always, we genuinely really appreciate you listening to us,
I sure do.
Soberly tonight, ramble on for an hour. And if you want to listen to us ramble on even more, we'll do it on the after show.
We sure will.
All right, everybody. We will see you later. Take it easy.
See you, everybody.